tails and welcome back to my kitchen. Yes, it's time for another Vicky Does Disney Dining Challenge. Oh yes, now if this is your first time watching one of these, hello, nice of you to join us. I am trying to recreate some of our favourite Walt Disney World meals, drinks and snacks from our last trip in November 2018 because I don't know when we're going back. Makes me very sad. Tear. But I don't know when we're going back and I'm missing all the good food. So I've decided to try and recreate some of our favourite bits and bobs from our last trip. If you haven't seen any of the other episodes, I will link up here in the corner somewhere, not quite sure where, but I will link the last episode up in the corner for you to go and have a look at. So for today's challenge, I am trying to make one of my favourite things that I found in Walt Disney World. It's pretty much what I use most of my snack credits on, and it's something that I didn't even know I liked until I went out to Walt Disney World, and now it's one of my favourite things. So I am going to try and recreate a cinnamon whirl bun type thing. Yeah, pastry with cinnamon. Yeah, that's whatever it is. That's what I'm going to try and make today. I'm really nervous about this one because the recipe is really quite complicated. Lots of steps, lots of things that I just don't know what I'm doing. So this could be slightly disastrous. But let's find out, shall we? So I have the ingredients for the dough here. So this is just for the dough because I'm going to make like the filling and the frosting separately. So this is just for the dough. So we have 3/4 cup of milk, which I need to warm up in a minute, but we'll get to that. 2 1/4 cups of active yeast. 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. We have 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. That was fun trying to figure out how to get just an egg yolk, but I managed it. We have 1/4 cup of unsalted butter, which I have melted. 3 cups of bread flour. Well, I say bread flour, that's what the recipe asks for. This is strong flour, which I think is the same thing. I really don't know. I'm hoping it is. And last, we have 3/4 cup of salt. That's all the ingredients for the dough. Let's see how this goes, shall we? I'm slightly scared about this one because I don't know what I'm doing. Right, I need to heat up my milk. Let's do that first. So I've made my first boo-boo. I need to heat this milk up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I went a little bit much. So I've now got to wait for it to cool down. As always, guys, these recipes are in American. They're from American websites, so everything's measured in cups. Most of it's measured in cups. So you can go and get yourself some little like cup measurements from, you know, they're not very expensive, from like Pound Shop or Hobbycraft or somewhere. Or you can try and convert it, but for me that just frazzled my head, so I stick with the cups. Okay, so now my milk has sufficiently cooled. I'm going to pour that into my mixing bowl. In it goes. There we are. And then I'm going to sprinkle my yeast on top. Now this is where we know if I've done this right or if I've done it wrong. Now if I sprinkle this on top, it should start to foam. But it's foaming. Ooh, that's a good sign, I think. Leave that for a minute just to see what else happens. So I've left it for about 3 minutes. I think it's foaming. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just going to crack on and see what happens. So now I'm adding my eggs. In they go. And my butter, which is pretty much solidified since it's been sat there so long. There we go, pop that in. Pop this down. And now I need to mix it until it is well combined. Turn this on. So now I've mixed all that in the mixer. I'm on the next page. I now have to stir in all the dry ingredients. So the flour, the salt. When was I meant to put the sugar in? I haven't written down to put the sugar in. So I meant to put that in the mixer. Oh no! Let me see if I can figure out what I've done here. Yeah, I was meant to put the sugar in the mixer, but I forgot. I didn't write it down properly. So I'm just gonna mix it in by hand. What could possibly go wrong? Right, so now it's stirring in the salt. Put the salt in there. In we go. And I I'm not even showing you what I'm doing. Right, so I've put the salt in. It's all in there. I have a feeling this is like not going to work at all. And now I'm going to add the flour. I'm going to add it in like a little bit at a time, I think, just because there's quite a lot of flour there. This is where we make a mess. Yeah, stir in flour with a wooden spoon until dough forms, or a dough starts to form. I did say when I started this series I am not an expert baker or chef or anything, so this is raw and real, guys. It might not ever, I don't think ever, oh, my phone's going. Ah, Caroline's message, liked one of my tweets. Hi Caroline. Oh my goodness. I guess I'm not going to find out if this has worked really until I start like proving it, because it's got to let the dough double in size and stuff. So I don't know. I'm guessing that's when I find out if the yeast has worked. Oh my god. Who needs a gym? Just make cinnamon whirls. Oh my god. Proper workout for your arms. So a dough there. It's started to form. I'm going to say that that's about as much as I'm meant to do with it. So I've started, my dough's kind of getting there now. You can knead this by hand, so putting it onto a floured surface and just kneading it for 8 to 10 minutes. Or if you have an electric mixer like I do, you can stick it on a dough hook for 8 to 10 minutes. So that is what I am going to do, because as lazy. So now I have to turn that out into a well-oiled bowl. A well-oiled bowl. So I'm just gonna get some kitchen roll, put some vegetable oil on it, just wipe around a bowl. You don't need to see that, it's simple. So here is my dough. It is quite a sticky dough, so I think I'm doing all right so far. So now I'm just gonna take this out. Oh, it's all stuck to the bottom. Take this out of this bowl if I can get it out. Oh, there we go. And I'm gonna put it into my well-oiled bowl. Plop. Now I need to cover that with cling film and put a hot towel over it and leave it for an hour to an hour and a half to hopefully rise. So my dough is proving. I now have an hour to an hour and a half to kill. What could I do in that time? Right guys, so my dough is nearly finished proving, I hope. I'm praying that it's got bigger, even if a little bit, I'll take that. So I'm just going to make the filling now, which is pretty simple. Let me just show you what I've got. So this is 2/3 of a cup of dark brown sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, and then there is 1/4 cup of unsalted butter that has been softened, hopefully. So here is the dough. I think it's gotten bigger. I think we're gonna have to go with it though. Let's just see what happens. So now I need to put this on to a floured surface and roll it out. So let's get going. This apparently has to be a rectangle. 9 inches by 14 inches. So I have a ruler somewhere. 6. I don't know if you're actually meant to like cut the dough. It just says roll into a rectangle. Okay. Right, let's go with, oh dear. Let's go with this. It says at the far edge of the dough score an inch mark, but I don't know why you would do that. But, okay, I don't quite know. I don't know. This is such a disaster. Right, where's my brush? Okay. So now I need to spread this butter onto here. I don't know what I'm doing. This is a disaster. Spread, spread, spread. Now I just need to mix the cinnamon and the sugar together. Probably should have done this before I started putting butter on. Now that is sufficiently mixed in, I'm going to sprinkle, my hands are clean, just, you know, so everyone knows. Sprinkle this onto the dough. I'm going to spread it out, make sure it gets everywhere it needs to go. Now comes the fun part. I need to roll this up. So I'm now going to cut these into 1-inch segments and put them into my cake tin, which it should be greased, but because this is a silicone cake tin, it doesn't need to be, because if you grease it, everything starts to fry. I'm just kneading it up at the end, and then I'm going to mark out 1 inch. So apparently if you use a serrated knife it doesn't squish as much, or you can use like floss, like catering floss. I don't have any of that. And it should make 9 cinnamon whirl things. Right, so we're just going to pop them into the pan. Right, so now I need to cover these again with cling film and leave them to prove for another ½ hour. Okay, so I left these to rise for about ½ an hour. Don't think they've got any bigger, but like I said, I'm pretty sure this whole thing's a bit of a disaster. It's a disaster, darling. I'm now going to pop them in the oven, which I've preheated to about 200 degrees Celsius, and they should take 20 to 25 minutes. They smell good, if nothing else. They smell nice. So we've had a bit of a disaster. You can see that all the filling seems to have leaked out. Yeah, they're nearly done though, so I'm going to make some the frosting, and yeah, let's see how this goes. In this bowl I've got 4 ounces of cream cheese, 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, or icing sugar we call it in the UK, and ½ a teaspoon of vanilla. I beat all the ingredients until smooth. Let's give this a go. Yeah, we seem to have had a lot of leakage. This one hasn't gone too well, guys. We're going to see what they taste like anyway. So this one hasn't gone quite as well as last one. Yeah, few things have gone wrong here, I think. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be star baker today. I think what I've mainly done wrong is I maybe think my yeast didn't activate properly, and I don't think I rolled my buns tight enough. I mean, look, it's the leakage. It smells very good, and I'm gonna try and eat it. See what it tastes like. If you never hear from me again, you know something went very wrong. Here we go. Still quite warm. Do you know what? They may not look like much, but they taste freaking amazing. Oh yeah. They taste really, really good. It's not all about looks, is it? So it may not be quite like the ones at Disney, but I'm quite happy with that. They taste good, they look appalling. I think I might have to try and do these again, like maybe now I know sort of more what I'm doing. I think I'm going to try and make them again. But I'm going to leave a link to the recipe and the method that I used down in the description. So if you want to give these a go, please do. Let me know how you get on with it. See if you do better than me. But that is it from this week's Vicky Does Disney Dining. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and following along on the disaster that was the cinnamon whirls. If there's anything you want me to try and make, I'm getting quite a long list now from people, but if there's anything that you want me to try and make, see if I do any better than this, then please let me know. Leave me a comment down below. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, hit that like button, and if you're not already, please feel free to subscribe to my Diddy channel for more fun and cooking and disasters. It's great. Follow me on Twitter at Tinker_Tales or Instagram at Tinker_Tales2018, and have a magical day, guys. I will see you really soon if I haven't died from food poisoning.